And now, Eyewitness News NightBEAT.
A tragedy at sea 1 year ago tonight. 230 people on board TWA Flight 800 killed when the 747 jumbo jet explodes in midair off the Long Island coast. Investigators putting together the pieces find no evidence of a bomb or missile. And this week they're taking to the air in an identical plane, looking closely at the plane's center fuel tank. Meantime, the pain and anger persist.
Basically, it's about seeking justice. 1 year ago, TWA and Boeing killed my entire family and killed 227 other people. And they are responsible for that.
Good evening. Exactly 1 year has passed, but the pain has definitely not.
No, it hasn't tonight. Family, friends, co-workers, and the nation are remembering the 230 lives that were lost while heading to Paris on board TWA Flight 800. Memorials being held from Long Island, close to the site of the tragedy, to New York City, where the ill-fated flight had taken off. Today at Manhattan's St. Patrick's Cathedral, loved ones and some famous faces were there in the gathering for a tearful mass to mark the tragedy. FBI Director Louis Freeh, John Cardinal O'Connor, and New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, all paying their respects to the victims.
Anna Duarte Corner, Constance Coiner.
And New York Governor George Pataki later hosting a ceremony on Long Island's South Shore. Among those attending here, 150 divers who participated in the search efforts off the coast during the difficult days that followed the explosion. Channel 3's live coverage of the TWA tragedy continues tonight, and this the first anniversary. NightBEAT reporter Dennis House is close to where he was a year ago, live at Smith Point Park in Mastic Beach, Long Island. Dennis?
Al, good evening. Yeah, it was just about 1 year ago at this very hour that people were really starting to realize the true horror of TWA Flight 800. Volunteers and rescue workers were combing the waters about 10 miles from here. They were finding bodies and wreckage, and they were really starting to realize what had happened. Tonight, the victims returned to this area, looking to make sense of something so senseless. Under a blazing sun and with bagpipes wailing, they clutched roses and each other as they remembered the night 1 year ago that changed their lives forever.
To the families of those who were taken from this earth 1 year ago, I know this solemn homecoming is very difficult because it represents the beginning of the saddest and most painful chapter of your lives.
The relatives stared at a new portable memorial that bears the names of all 230 victims, a dozen from Connecticut, including Robert Ford's mother, Ramona Jones of West Hartford.
I've seen a lot of different memorials. I've seen the memorials down at Pearl Harbor. That was very moving. The Vietnam Memorial I've seen. This one, that's my mother. I'm going to miss her.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
After Judy Collins sang to the mourners, the marking of this dark anniversary moved to the surf, where relatives wept and watched as wreaths were brought to the crash site 10 miles from the shore.
Very moving, soothing, having the ability to pray where everybody is, it counts for something, you know, because we're all here sharing our losses.
Now, tomorrow, the victims' relatives will attend what is sure to be another very touching ceremony. A park on the nearby Montauk Highway will be dedicated to the memory of their loved ones. Later in the afternoon, they will be at a reception to meet some of the volunteers who helped in the cleanup and recovery efforts. Then on Saturday, if the relatives want, they'll be allowed to view the reconstructed 747, which investigators hope will someday help them solve the mystery of TWA Flight 800. Al?
Must have been a very moving day for you personally as well, Dennis.
It was, Al.
Dennis House on the NightBEAT in Mastic Beach, Long Island tonight. And perhaps no one community around the nation has felt the devastation of TWA Flight 800 as much as Montoursville, Pennsylvania. The choir singing to mark the disaster's 1 year anniversary as the town holds its memorial service. 21 residents of Montoursville, including 16 high school students who were on a French club trip, were killed in the explosion. And in Hartford at the state capitol, the flags are flying at half-staff. Lieutenant Governor Jody Rell ordering the flags lowered to honor the victims of Flight 800. 13 people from Connecticut were killed. The flags will remain at half-staff through tomorrow. And stay with Eyewitness News continuing coverage of the first anniversary of Flight 800. Dennis House will be reporting once again live from Long Island tomorrow night beginning at 5.
In other news, quite a power drain across New England today, and in the end, utilities were able to get us through yet another hot and sticky day. But for a time this morning, that was in doubt. The New England Power Pool had to issue a power watch for the entire 6-state region when a 400-megawatt Northeast Utilities plant that burns oil went offline in Montville. The restrictions were eased by 6 o'clock tonight after some sought relief from the heat the old-fashioned way by running through sprinklers and getting out of that haze. But others continue to suffer the way through the hot spell. Will it last much longer? Hilton Kaderli has a first look at Connecticut's most accurate forecast. Hilton.
Donna, not too much longer. One more day. 94 the high on 3 Live WeatherNet, both in Meriden and in Enfield today. And we had unhealthful air quality in Greenwich, Stratford, and Westport. So what's ahead? Overnight, warm and muggy as showers dwindle, diminish, and fizzle out. Temperatures is upper 60s to the low 70s. When you wake up, a warm reading in the 70s. Hot tomorrow, partly sunny, highs in the mid-90s. Chance of evening thunderstorms, temperatures in the 80s, and then significantly different weather for the upcoming weekend. We'll detail your weekend and look at the beach forecast and have complete details coming up shortly, folks.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Hilton. The second of 2 boys badly burned in an accident months ago is tonight back home. 11-year-old Tommy Baker of Stratford was burned over 80% of his body after playing with flammable liquid at a friend's home last February. Tommy's still receiving treatment for his injuries. His brother Bobby was also burned in the accident. He returned home from the hospital in March.
From South Florida tonight, still no sign of suspected cross-country killer Andrew Cunanan, wanted in Tuesday's slaying of fashion designer Gianni Versace. But Miami police aren't the only ones looking for him now. A warrant is issued for Cunanan tonight in Chicago for the murder more than 2 months ago of millionaire Lee Miglin here. He had been tortured and stabbed to death.
And just today, another killing in the Miami area. A Cuban-born doctor who, like Versace, apparently lived a gay lifestyle. Authorities say a man fitting the general description of Cunanan was spotted running from the scene, but police aren't ready to connect it to Cunanan.
New tonight in the Versace killing, this surveillance video that shows a man fleeing the area near Versace's mansion shortly after he was gunned down execution style. The man is wearing clothing that matches witness descriptions of what Versace's murderer was wearing.
So Cunanan is somewhere out there tonight. His next move unknown, but many fear he will kill again soon. The FBI's top experts are trying to understand the criminal mind to figure out what makes the suspect tick. NightBEAT reporter Jennifer Watson talked to an expert, and she's live in Hartford with a story. Jennifer.
Donna, inside the federal courthouse here are FBI offices. Now, federal and local officials are searching the country for Cunanan. We talked to one of the foremost experts on the criminal mind, and he gave us a glimpse inside the mind of Andrew Cunanan.
He's a charming person who can talk to people and convince people. He's obviously intelligent, and he's very, very, deranged.
Yale neuropsychiatrist Dr. James Marikangis is an expert on the criminal mind. He's interviewed and studied hundreds of killers, many of them with more than one victim, and he's been following Andrew Cunanan's moves with great interest.
Someone who's studying it would like very much to talk to him, interview him, examine him, get an MRI scan of his brain, check his hormones, and try to find out biologically what makes him tick.
Marikangis says there is reason for Cunanan to target gay men to kill.
Gay men are the natural objects of his sexual interest. In other words, rapists who kill women are heterosexual, and people who are homosexual are going to kill homosexuals.
Some speculate Cunanan has HIV and is killing out of revenge.
HIV goes to your brain. I don't know what the public wants to hear that either, that it's often a brain infection and can cause mental changes.
What's unusual is there's a pattern of killing homosexuals and high-profile people like Versace that doesn't fit the profile of a serial killer because most don't seek publicity.
Well, it also shows how powerful he is. That he can kill somebody who is famous, wealthy, who should have security, and just do it.
Marikangis says Cunanan is probably reveling in all the publicity and may even get more obvious. He also says Cunanan may have killed lots of other people, gay partners back in California that we don't know about.
His diagnosis probably is a sexual sadist, someone who gets sexual gratification from pain and degradation. In other words, the ultimate degradation is to kill somebody, to show your power over somebody. And he has to do it more and more to get the same kick out of it.
Which is why Marikanga says he expects Cunanan will kill again, and soon.
So do you think there's a good chance that if he strikes again, that he will go for another big person?
Probably, and then there'll be a gun battle with the FBI, and he will die, and we'll never know why.
Now, Marikanga says the fact that Cunanan has gotten this far without getting caught has only given him more confidence and power. He also says the way Cunanan does things so publicly without trying to hide it means he may be trying to get himself killed to go out in some kind of blaze of glory. Bottom line, things are going to get worse. Donna, back to you.
Jennifer Watson on the Night Beat in Hartford.
A female counselor is suspected in a mass molestation. She's accused of assaulting as many as 22 kids at a Girl Scout camp in Ohio. Police say the 19-year-old woman is an exchange counselor from the African nation of Tanzania. Several campers complained that they were inappropriately touched by the woman, from being patted on their buttocks when bending over to tie their shoes, to being hugged too long when they cried from homesickness.
Sportscaster Marv Albert in court today and agreeing to submit dental impressions in his upcoming sexual assault trial. Albert is accused of biting and sexually assaulting a woman at a hotel in February, and he denied the charges today.
I would just like to thank everybody, my family, my friends, my co-workers for the wonderful support that I have received, even from people that I don't even know, just going out of their way to show their support in incredible ways. I really appreciate that. And when all the facts do come out, you will all see that I am innocent.
Albert's lawyers say photos of the bites on the alleged victim are not clear enough to be used as evidence.
The jury in the Autumn Jackson case today heard from an FBI agent who searched her California hotel room and claims to have found tapes, documents, and handwritten notes that link Jackson to the alleged extortion plot against actor Bill Cosby. The agent says she found a draft of a letter that said, quote, "Now here's the deal, either I go to the tabloids and or CBS, or we settle now. That's what I'm willing to do."
60-mile-an-hour winds headed straight for the Gulf Coast. We'll show you the scene where the watches and warnings are tonight.
Also on the Night Beat, a boy falls 25 feet in a roller coaster accident, but there's something about his condition that's being called amazing.
Aggressive drivers are probably more dangerous than you think. An expert tells us why.
And why the wait to lose weight? Tonight, some interesting results in a new national poll. Stay with us. The Night Beat's coming right back.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News. This is Connecticut's news station.